Today on How Fucked is Canadian Healthcare, I need an MRI to see if I have a fucking brain tumor. And go ahead, guess when it is. Go ahead, guess. It's in 2026. 2026. My MRI to see if I have a brain tumor is in 2026. It's March 2025 right now. And if you thought this was bad, it's actually worse than you thought because the appointment where we decided that I need this MRI was in December of last year. So it's not like it's 10 months from now, it's 13 months. It's a 13-month wait to see if I have a brain tumor. At first, I just thought this was a mistake because having an MRI every year is like a monitoring timeline. Like, I already have an MRI every year for my spine tumor, which is why we think maybe I have a brain tumor too. So I was like, okay, they just made a mistake and scheduled this on a monitoring timeline. But no, I called and the clinic was like, yeah, the doctor actually requested that you have it earlier, but this is the next spot we have. We're seeing about 13 months for these brain and spine MRIs. Cool. Cool. Canada, where healthcare is free, but only if you can afford to wait.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. So much for free healthcare, am I right, folks? You can either have free healthcare or you can have expensive healthcare that you can get immediately. Um, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. You can either have healthcare on demand or you can have free healthcare, which will take years for you to actually get access to. I mean, and imagine if we did what Canada did. We have like 10 times the population Canada has. Like, there'd be people waiting forever. I mean, more people die waiting for healthcare services in Canada than anywhere else. We do not have a perfect healthcare system here in the U.S. for sure, but Canada is the farthest from perfect it can ever be. I mean, imagine if you had a brain tumor, like a severe, aggressive, cancerous brain tumor, and they were like, "You need to get this. We need to schedule for this." It's like, okay, well, you get your initial appointment a year from today. So she goes in and go, yeah, we need to get that MRI scheduled, but your MRI appointment. So we got your initial appointment, your checkup to see if you actually need the MRI today. And then a year from today, you get your MRI. By then, it could be way too late, guys. It could be stage 3 or heck, even stage 4 by then. It's like, well, she died, but, at least all the checkups and appointments were free. So bash the American healthcare system all you want, but that's what you get, folks. I mean, do you think that kid would have executed what's his name, with Luigi Mangione? You think he wouldn't have executed that guy? I mean, he probably would have gone after a government official if he lived in Canada. This is your fault. Why am I waiting 2.5 years to just go and get a picture taken of my brain? Well, because it's free. And there are tons of people clogging up the system because it's free. Which just goes to show you, we'll never create a paradise here on Earth, man.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. But yeah, we talked about this before. But we've actually wanted to do deep dives into the Canadian healthcare system. But every time we try to, the videos get taken down. It's like people in the Canadian government. It's like once the Canadian government sees these anti-Canadian healthcare posts, they get taken down for hate speech. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the videos we were originally going to do this on was about a lady talking about the healthcare system, and like whenever we were going to do it that day, we had to change topics day of because the videos were disappeared off the internet. Now, if you're a disingenuous left-wing hack, you'd be like, that's because they were lying. It's like, okay, is this lady that we just watched this video of, is she lying? I mean, again, all you have to say is like, is this the kind of healthcare system you want? And if it is, a lot of your friends and family are going to die waiting in line.
Yeah.
Instead of just being able to walk into any we can go to any hospital in the nation here and be like, I have a certain type of cancer. Well, guess what? There's probably a hospital in the nation that specializes in that certain type of cancer.
Yep.
So,
Well, Yeah, that's the big story, and like the one that you're talking about was like this video of this lady who was driving from Canada to the United States
Talking
to
about,
get
yeah.
cancer treatment, and
Yeah.
that video just literally disappeared out of our section. Like I was saying, this video is no longer available.
Well, I mean, it's a shame too. I'd love to be able to pull up Lauren Chin's video on this too. Like Lauren Chin, like she was involved in that tenant media scandal, so she got off YouTube.
YouTube
and,
nuked her off the internet.
Yeah, YouTube nuked her off the internet. But she had a video where she talked about the Canadian healthcare system and why it sucks. Because she and her family, she's like an international. So her dad's Chinese, her mom's European. They moved to Canada when she was a kid. Then they moved to the U.S. And then she was officially a resident of Canada. And then her dad got cancer, and they basically moved to the U.S. because her dad couldn't get treatment in Canada. So they came down to, I think they went to, I think even Stefan Molyneux did this too. They went to a cancer place here in Oklahoma, of all places.
Yeah.
And they had a good cancer treatment facility here for whatever type of cancer that they had. And they didn't have to wait in line for a year and a half just to be told that they had cancer, and then have to wait another year to have a consultation, and then another year to be like, okay, now your treatment will be your what do you call it? What chemo treatments will be scheduled 2 years from your initial consultation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we don't have that kind of time. So that's what they do. The people from Canada who have money and are smart come down here and get their treatments done.
Yep. Which brings up this next video that we have here, which is those people that are always showing off that they're leaving the United States after Trump wins.
Oh,
So
yeah,
check
I sent you this earlier, didn't I?
Yeah, check this out. Let me go ahead and refresh it real quick, and we'll get it started.
Goodbye, Donald Trump. We're moving to Canada for real.
Oh, you guys weren't joking this time. Cool. Well, welcome to Canada, where houses cost twice as much and salaries are 30% lower, where our unemployment rate is 60% higher, where our GDP per capita grew the worst among the G20 countries, and it's not even close, where the healthcare is free, except not really, and 74,000 people have died on wait lists in the last 7 years, where we just replaced our prime minister with an investment banker who didn't live here for the last 10 years, and who also likes to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein's wife, or your guy is probably just going to buy us when we go bankrupt anyways. But hey, at least we've got ketchup chips, milk and bags, and less wildfires.
Goodbye, Donald Trump.
I mean, yeah, I saw that and I said, Chad, we have to show this one on the show tomorrow because, I mean, how true is that? It's crazy, man.
Scary stuff. And this is why Canada is kind of a joke of the world, is like they really don't do much. Like everything they're like, we need Canada for their lumber. Just like, no, we don't. We have lumber here.
We just aren't allowed to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They make it more cost effective to buy from Canada than for us to actually be able to start a business of lumberjacking.
Yeah. Lumberjacking. I like it. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just this fantasy that everywhere's better than America. And then, like I said, you have to use the old Jordan Peterson adages. Compared to what? Like, Canada's better than America how? In healthcare? I guess by what metric do you measure healthcare? I guess if you mean free, sure, but I mean nothing's really free. The taxpayers are fronting the bill.
Yep.
So again, it's just so nuts. There is no truly great comparison. I mean, we all have to be able to generalize and draw comparisons, but I mean the comparisons the left draw are so disingenuous.
Yes.
It's so wrong.
Yep.
So,
which brings up the next part that we were talking about, is like how we have talked about this before. And I actually found our episode about it, and it was about why insurance prices. It says the truth about insurance prices is the episode, and I finally found it because we have so many, and it had the Luigi Imagioni kid and the CEO that he killed talking about it. So here I'll just show a little bit of our show from the original and show how we talked about this.
When we say healthcare is the leading cause of personal bankruptcy, it's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Like there's nothing else matters besides healthcare when it comes to personal bankruptcy. So we're at 2 to 5x every other developed nation in what we spend on healthcare. So why do they inflate the cost so much? It's because they play a shell game with the insurance company. We don't have the same laws around like drug pricing. We, in exchange for getting first dibs on the best drugs, we pay a higher price for them. So if you look at the United States, we're very good on quality. When we deliver care, it's the best. On cost, we are absolutely the worst. There's literally no country that pays more than we do for a given service. And on access, we're horrible for a developed nation. When we say health
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with
Wow.
Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop.
That's me. I'm famous.
Yeah, so we've had this conversation. We had a whole this was an hour. This is one of our probably our longest video we've ever done. And we did a huge breakdown deep dive into why the insurance companies and the healthcare industry is so like corrupt, because you have to have a doctor sign off on something, who he sends it to his admin staff, who then the admin staff gets in touch with the insurance companies, and the admin staff and the insurance companies both have no clue what the patient what the doctor's telling the patient needs this thing for. So then the insurance companies and the admin staff basically like are playing a game where like, prove it. Yeah, prove it. And then the admin staff can't prove it, so then they have to go back to the doctor. So it's making a line of someone has to talk to somebody, has to talk to somebody, has to talk to somebody, has to talk to
Yes,
somebody.
it's making a long bureaucratic line. Again, the more you socialize something, the harder it comes to get. It's like whenever I make a requisition for like ammo, or I have a request for like a building or something, they're like, "Why do you need this and what for?" Like, because I'm in the military and we're training. It's like, okay, prove it. So there's a lot. There's a lot of red tape, man. And like I said, the more bureaucrats you and the more admin positions you create, the more paper trails you're going to create. You know, again, it's like I told you. How do you know a good business from a bad business? A good business, you talk to one person and your problem and issue gets solved right there.
Or
A bad,
at least,
yeah.
or what we said, at least one lateral movement.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know how to solve this, but I know a person who
I
can.
know the person who can. I'll transfer you to that department. Instead, we'd have it's like, oh, you have to talk to this person. And again, this is why socialized medicine sucks so bad. It's like, you need to talk to this person. I'll transfer you to that department. And you know, there's no. We're all in the service industry at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Even healthcare. Like, you might not be a service. You might not think that you're in a service industry, but you are. Like, I mean, like, nurses get graded on the way how well they treat their patients. You know, it's like, but again, it's like I tell my girlfriend too. It's like my girlfriend goes, I'm not like a servant girl. Like, I don't work for you. I work at the behest of the doctor in the hospital. You know, but at the same time, it's just like, we are in a service industry, no matter what you are. It's like, if you're a doctor, I'm serving you the cure, or I'm telling you what you need to do in order to get cured.
Yeah. Unless you're building something like a machine, or you're building like products, every industry is in the service industry. And as I like to call it, as I like to say, like, you're a detective. Every single person who's working a job, you're a detective. Someone's coming to you with a problem. You have to solve their problem. Maybe you particularly can't, but you need to try. And if you can't, then you find the person who can.
Yes, you find the Sherlock Holmes who can.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's how you should approach every job. Every job, you are a detective trying to solve a problem that someone's giving you.
Maybe minus like manual labor. But
Yeah.
the problem is there needs to be a hole there. Start digging.
Yeah.
Get to the bottom of this hole and we'll solve the mystery.
Yeah, that's why I said there's certain industries, like I said, if you're building like toys, or building like some product, yeah, you probably aren't solving a problem for somebody. But
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be better if people worked diligently at their jobs. Was there anything else about this Canadian healthcare thing you wanted to
no,
talk about?
other than
or-
like just tell people to go watch our video on why insurance costs so much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's a lot, and I know, like I said, it's not a sexy. I mean, it's something people like to complain about, but nobody likes to do the hard. Like, again, it's the whole think of the children. You know, it's like we like pointing at the problem, but nobody likes coming up with a solution.
Yes,
you know, and
exactly.
then the problem is too. It's like, you know, they can weaponize the solution too. The solution can be, you know, it's like, oh well, again, if you're a big government person, like, we trust the government to come up with a solution. It's like, no.
Let's not
But at
do
the same
that.
time, it's like we don't trust these big pharma to come up with the solution either, because clearly that ain't working.
Yeah.
But you have to. This is why you have to want to have people of good morals and good scruples in positions of authority and power. You can't have people that's just like, well, I don't care. At the end of the day, as long as I make a couple $100 million, you know, it's like, I don't care.
I mean, that's what's basically happening in government. It's people who don't have any, I would say it's religious morals. They don't have any morals. I mean, it's like you said, like, why would you trust an atheist or, somebody, even in this case, like, Islamic or somebody who's not, Christian, to put their hand on the Bible when they're swearing in court? They don't owe any allegiance to that.
Yeah, I can lie in court. No, I mean, I'm not going to answer to an almighty God. What are you, stupid? Like, again, you can't, again, I think Clarence Thomas said the best. You can't trust these people. You can't trust an atheist when they put their hand on the Bible, because they can lie, they can cheat, they can steal, they can do whatever they want. You know, they can pretend that their morals come from somewhere else. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like whenever, like, if there's an atheist and they grew up their entire life here in America, they're not really an atheist. And what I mean by that is a true atheist is someone who, like, they can't be, I mean, again, you can't be a true atheist here in America because their foundational principles you believe in are all based on Christian values.
Even our Constitution is based on Christian moral values.
So you sit there and go, no, I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's like, yes, you do. Like, inherently you do. It's like every movie you've ever seen has Christian values in it. Like Star Wars. Like, there are Judeo-Christian values in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could not have created a character like Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader without understanding the archetypes of good and evil.
Which brings us to the next topic of today, which is the main topic, really. It's the tragedy in healthcare, and it's the 4 American soldiers who have gone missing in a training mission in Lithuania, just miles from the border of Belarus.
Yeah. I think they were reported dead, and now we don't even know if they're dead or not. They could just be walking around out in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll go ahead and just read this article real quick. It says, title, 4 American soldiers killed after they went missing on a training mission in Lithuania, just miles from the border. Now we're getting new updates saying that they're just missing. They haven't been found dead yet. So something could be up.
And it's possible they could have sunk in the mud, you know, and they might not be able to find the bodies because what they were doing, they were draining a bog or something, right? They were out there doing a train. So, I mean, look at how muddy it is out there.
Yeah.
They were draining a bog as part of their training mission. So these guys aren't. So the M88 Hercules,
Which, if you're watching, is the vehicle down here in our thumbnail.
yeah, in the thumbnail. So they are like these giant
Cranes.
crane vehicles. They're not combat vehicles. I mean, they can go into combat situations and, I guess, tow
it's basically
vehicle
a giant
out.
tank with a crane on it.
Yeah, but it's not like a frontline combat vehicle. It's a support vehicle. So for those of you who don't know, like 10 to 20% of the Army is like infantry. Everything else is support. So it's like so these are like logistical support vehicles that, like, if a car breaks down or a big truck breaks down the road, they come out and tow it or do something with it to get it off the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's what these are. These are not like tanks. These are not like APCs, troop transport characters. These are vehicles manned by people whose job it is to move other vehicles off the road. So this M88 Hercules was found in a swamp, basically sunk. And this was part of their training mission. So what could have happened is these guys might have gone off-road or went down a route they weren't supposed to go. And I'll tell you this, guys. This is not unheard of. Like, stuff like this in the Army happens a lot. These guys could be so embarrassed that they don't even want to face their chain of command. They're just like, I don't know what to do.
They could have literally got stuck, jumped out of the APC, and started marching back to the base, but they've gotten lost.
And another thing too is they could have done something outside of regulations. They're afraid they could get Article 15. You know, Article 15 meaning you brought up on charges. You know, it's like they went down a road they weren't supposed to get onto, got stuck. They're embarrassed. So this is the thing. They're like, you know, like the media is trying to make this out to be a bigger deal than it might actually be. Again, how easy is it for someone who, like, again, they probably just, the GPS, or they could have just gone down a wrong road, got stuck in the mud. This APC started sinking, or not APC, this M88 started sinking in the mud. They're like, oh God, what do we do? What do we do? We just got to get out and abandon the vehicle. And now we got to worry about a mountain of paperwork and getting yelled at by the chain of command because, you know, and like, if it's as muddy as it looks out there, moving a mile could take hours because their boots are stuck in the mud.
Yeah. And this was a joint training exercise with the Lithuanian forces. So I'll go ahead and just start reading. So 4 U.S. Army soldiers have died in Lithuania. Again, that's what's being called under speculation right now. Is like they're missing. Apparently there have been no bodies.
We don't have
found.
bodies. We don't know where these guys are.
Yeah. So, died in Lithuania. They disappeared on a training site while maneuvers just miles from the border. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte or something like that said Wednesday 4 soldiers of the 1st Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division, based out of Fort Stewart, Georgia, were last seen alive on Tuesday riding an armored vehicle during an attack training exercises at the military site near the city of Pabrodė, I don't know how to say that, in eastern Lithuania. The base is about 6 miles 6 miles from the border of Belarus, a staunch Russian ally that has come at a time of tension in the region. Lithuania's military has not confirmed the exact details of what happened. The local media reports that the four may have drowned after the M88A2 Hercules armored vehicle became trapped in swampy terrain. Rout said that the received word from the deaths of the four soldiers, extended his thoughts and prayers to their families of the United States. This is still early news, so we don't know the details, he told the reporters while on the visit to Poland's capital, Warsaw. This is really terrible news, and our thoughts are with the families and loved ones. Last week, Lithuania announced that it's mining its borders, with Russia and Belarus joining its neighbors Poland and stepping up defenses in the face of ongoing war with Ukraine and fears of Russian incursion into NATO territory. The U.S. Army has not yet released a statement on the soldier's death, but earlier expressed the thanks to the Lithuanian Armed Forces for helping on the search and rescue mission. I would like to personally thank the Lithuanian Armed Forces and their first responders who quickly came to our aid in search operations. Lieutenant General Charles Constanza, 5th Corps Commanding General, said in a statement, "It's like a kind of teamwork and support that exemplifies the importance of partnership and humanity, regardless of what flags we wear on our shoulders." The 1st Armored Brigade was one of the earliest units deployed to NATO's eastern flank in the wake of the Russian invasion in Ukraine in February 2022. The unit returned to Europe in January to start another 9-month rotation, reports Stars and Stripes. Units within the brigade trained in difficult, often boggy conditions in Lithuania, Poland, and other parts of the Baltic countries. 4 soldiers were traveling in an M88A2 armored recovery vehicle when they disappeared around 7 p.m. local time on Tuesday, according to Lithuanian media reports. A major search and rescue operation was deployed involving troops from Lithuania and other NATO nations, as well as Lithuanian Air Force helicopters and country's state border guard service. Lithuania outlet Delphi reported. The operation, with help from Lithuania's fire protection and rescue departments, had narrowed the search down to possible locations Wednesday, according to the press release from the Lithuanian military. Possible location of the incident has been identified, and the search and rescue operation is underway. Lithuanian military spokesperson Major, I don't know how to say this name, Getintas Sinas told Etla. Good Lord. Lithuania's armed forces are yet to confirm the deaths, but issued a statement thanking the U.S. for its support in the region. "We truly appreciate our grateful U.S. presence here, and we create conditions for them to increase their military readiness." Chairman of the National Security Defense Committee said in a statement, "Yeah, I'm not saying these freaking Lithuanians.
Yeah, don't bother.
Such events do indeed occur during large-scale joint exercises, not only among Americans but among other armies. This aims to reduce the likeliness of such things, such as that are not impossible if we are the kind of accidents and lessons learned and safety requirements are increased," he went on. Roughly 16,000 American troops are currently deployed in the Baltic regions, including 1,400 in Poland, 1,000 in Lithuania, and 700 in Estonia, according to the data from the International Institute for Strategic Studies. And that's another thing, too, is like all military movements, besides like special forces, are open to the public. You can go to any military's like website and see where their current forces are right now. You can go see where the 82nd is. You can go see where the 1st Division is. You can go see where the 45th is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But that's about it from there. But again, you sent me this one this morning, and apparently they said the mystery deepens over the 4 missing U.S. soldiers in Lithuania after the abandoned tank is found. Said so. New details emerged from the U.S. Army soldiers who vanished in Lithuania during a training exercise after the Army vehicle was discovered submerged in a body of water. The soldiers from the 1st Brigade of the 3rd Infantry Division of the 88 Hercules armored recovery vehicle were reported missing Tuesday during a tactical training exercise in Parablay, a town near Belarus border about 30 miles east of the Lithuanian capital, Vilnius. Hundreds of personnel in the U.S. Army and Lithuanian Armed Forces, along with private agencies, continue to search for the missing soldiers through Wednesday night at the Defense Minister Dovil. Okay, I'm not saying the names. On Thursday morning, the search and rescue operations involved water pumps, digging a peat bog after the U.S. Army, Europe, and Africa announced Wednesday that the Hercules was discovered in a body of water. The revealed that the vehicle was more than 15 feet deep of mud and that enough water had been drained from the swamp to begin digging for it. So the minister said that other positive signs emerged from the rescue effort, giving hope for a quicker scenario, and that there is no guarantee that the soldiers were in the armored vehicle when it submerged.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the big thing. We haven't found any bodies, so we don't know if they're dead. But again, if they're in that heavy, thick swamp, they could have, easily got sunk.
Yeah, sunk down to the bottom or something. Yeah, there's no guarantees here, guys. So don't want to get anybody's hopes. No, we don't want to go out and say they're dead, but at the same time, we don't want to get anybody's hopes up either.
Yeah.
If it's as muggy as it was to take down an entire M88,
if you're wearing your full kit, you can easily sink to the bottom.
Yeah. So I don't know, folks. I hope and pray that these guys are alive and well, and just
I hope they're just walking around lost out in the woods right now.
Yeah, and somebody, they just use some helicopters and they find them real quick. But you don't know. I'm hoping this isn't one of those red flag events, but like the Russians let them off track, and now we have to go to war with them. It's like, I don't know, folks. I'm just hoping it's not that kind of red flag event. But it is what it is. And again, things like this happen more often than you think in the military. Soldiers
die on training incidents all the time. Like you need to mark the ground with chem lights at night to make sure that a vehicle doesn't run your guys over. It doesn't run your guys over in a patrol base. And that has happened. People have literally just tried to get away from people who are snoring or loud, and they'll go sleep out by themselves, and they get run over by vehicles because they didn't mark where they were sleeping.
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes on in the military that people just don't get. They're like going, there's a lot of people that are looking at this. How did this giant armored vehicle get submerged? It's like, guys, these guys are driving around in a country on a training exercise that, imagine driving in a place you don't know where you are, and you're driving a big, heavy vehicle, and all of a sudden you hit swamp, or you're drawing what looks like a road, but it's like, oh, that's not road, that's not a puddle. That's a bog. That's a swamp.
Especially if they were doing this at night. Like, night vision does not show you, huge
holes.
There's
a huge perception issue when it comes to driving. Even just walking in night vision. Like whenever, even in basic training, you're walking around in night vision, it's like things are way farther away than they appear. You will bump into the person in front of you. We're walking in a straight single file line using night vision, and I'll bump into the person in front of me because the night vision makes it appear that they are much farther away from me than they actually are. You take off the night vision, you're like, oh, crap, you're an inch in front of me. And you put them on, they're 3 feet away from me. You're like, oh, I got plenty of room.
Yeah, it's like looking at something through a camera because it doesn't give you the exact same perspective that your eyes do.
Yeah, think of it kind of almost like a video game. The way your perception, the way that you view reality is very skewed in the video game.
Yeah. But this next thing, the only meme that I really have for today was this one, and I thought it was great. Mark Zuckerberg's new Facebook and Instagram policy allows users to call LGBTQ plus people mentally ill. It's what's his name from The Boys, Billy Butcher. Billy Butcher from The Boys saying, just he's doing his evil smile. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby.
I love it. But that's about it. Like I said, I have this video over here that I'm going to end us out on, talking about how charities, especially a bunch of our favorite Democrats, that start charities and stuff, how they funnel money to themselves.
Yeah.
Through using government and funds and people's goodwill.
Check it out.
Yeah. But that's how we'll end out the show today. But that's really, I think, all we've got for today, my friend. So,
all right. Well, again, hey, our thoughts and prayers go out to those soldiers. We pray they are not dead, but they are alive and well, just marching, aimlessly walking around in that marsh, and hopefully somebody, the Lithuanians and the American forces, find them very soon. If not, we pray that the Lord, they are at peace and with the Lord right now. So, but yeah, God willing, they're found alive and well, and the worst thing that they get is a butt chewing from their chain of command. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping this situation resolves out. I'm hoping people don't blow this out of proportion and turn it into something that it probably isn't. But yeah, this is just probably an embarrassment for these guys, and they're just, nervous to go and get yelled at and maybe potentially get an Article 15 for driving a direction or maybe doing something that wasn't in regulation. That's my hope.
Yep. Amen to that.
So, but anyway, that's about all we've got for you today. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This is the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that is all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
Wait, what? Yeah. Let's say you're a politician who stole a of tax money. To hide this, we'll need to funnel it. How do we do that? It's simple. Just start a charity as a cover-up. Won't people suspect anything? They won't, because the best time to steal money is during a crisis. If a hurricane, earthquake, or war breaks out, that's your golden opportunity. You'll set up a charity and announce that you're raising money for disaster victims. What do I do then? Now, the government and the public will start donating to your charity. Once you have that money, it's time to spend it. So we'll actually help people? No. Who wants to do that? We'll fake it instead. What? How does that work? Okay, look, let's say you report that you delivered 100,000 meals to disaster victims. In reality, you only delivered 10,000. The other 90,000 meals exist only on paper, but the money for them goes straight into your account. Won't people notice the missing supplies? Not if we inflate the prices of everything. What do you mean? Instead of stealing money directly, we hire fake suppliers to charge 10 times normal prices. A tent that should cost $100 is shown as $5,000. A bottle of water is purchased for $50 each. A $500 generator is reported as a $20,000 emergency energy system. All that extra money goes straight to you. Won't the public ask where the money went? That's why we'll do a little bit of charity. We'll hand out food and supplies to a few people, enough for a good PR stunt. We'll invite news crews, take pictures of suffering children, and tell them we're saving lives. But we stole most of that money. Exactly. But now, we look like heroes. What happens when people start investigating? By then, the money is already gone. We move it through offshore accounts and fake shell companies. What if we get caught? We blame it on accounting mistakes or say we were tricked by bad suppliers. Worst case, we shut down the charity and just start a new one. It's that easy. Just like that, we laundered millions through a fake charity.